Okay, guys. I almost had a moment just now that almost ended with me going into the corner, curling up into a ball, and crying a little bit. That's fantastic. I had a couple days that I don't know if it was coming off the meds or something from when I was sick or what, but I mean, I was just unconscious for the last couple days. Mix that with school and stressed finishing up the semester and all that. And then I mean to come back yesterday, which would have been the third day, I guess. And I end up sleeping again all after I get home from my class. I take a nap and I sleep all night. So I'm like, God damn it, I've been away for 3 days now. You know, I'm stressed as shit. Going, I gotta get some content for I gotta get something out for the channel. I feel like a piece of shit. And then I load up Adobe, and my mic's not recording. The sound's all fucked up. Like, it's not on the original file. It's in Adobe, and I can't figure out. I don't have an update to run. I don't know what's going on. I'm flipping the fuck out. I was having a very unhappy time. Oh boy.
Wherever you'd like me. I'm heading there now.
Excuse me if this video, it's just kind of very random, just chatting about a lot of different stuff. We're not doing a lot of super important missions in this one. I take a swing at a main mission, but it doesn't go well. You know, we see what's going on with the Ring of the Maiden and all that stuff. We do a good chunk of things, but there's not really kind of like a one consistent through line all the way through. So if you won't mind me kind of taking the moment to just kind of talk about random crap. And I suppose first things first, yesterday, Game Awards, which I thought those already happened, if I'm being entirely honest. But
I'm heading there now.
Yeah, there have only been 2 trailers that I've seen itty bitty pieces of, which is Witcher 4 and a new Mafia game got announced. I'm trying to think what is it Mafia Traditions or something like that? It's not going to be set in New York or anything like that. It's going to be set in Sicily, back in, I'd have to double check what year it was. I want to say 1914, but for some reason that sounds too early. But it takes place, you know, well into the past, so I'm really curious how that's going to go. Mafia 3 was hit and miss with me. I kind of liked it, but I don't know. But I'm definitely interested in seeing what we're going to see out of a new Mafia game. And given how much I love The Witcher, I'm sure people would expect me to go, oh my gosh, I can't wait, a new Witcher game.
You'll see no harm.
I'm not saying, oh darn, a new Witcher game, because I love The Witcher. I'm never going to talk shit about, you know, getting another Witcher game. I'm just not very happy with the route that they decided to go with this new Witcher game. I think that's the best way to phrase it. I'm not happy with the direction they're going to take the franchise. And it's because and the biggest thing that I question about it is making Ciri the new leading lady. And I get it, Geralt's story's done. I have no problem with them taking a step away from Geralt. Let the man rest, let him be the first Witcher to die peacefully in his bed. That doesn't bother me one iota. And I really don't have a problem with Ciri as a character necessarily. I think her storyline's just kind of, we've kind of seen it. You know, and I get it, I I hate saying it. Whenever there's a female character, I always sound like one of those main character. I always sound like one of those people. It's like, oh, it's a female-led game, so I'm skeptical, and then I'm always afraid people are gonna go, oh, you're just skeptical because it's a female-led game. I said kind of, but not because it's a woman, because it's the whole thing with the modern, with the studio's focus on the modern audience, which just makes me want to vomit. So it's almost like I almost feel like you're gonna. It's almost a fear that really studios, I don't trust you, and especially because CD Projekt. I know it makes me sad to say this, but they got caught doing some very DEI kind of stuff, and I don't know. I'm not going to say I don't trust them. It's the same thing with, I've heard similar rumblings out of Rockstar. It's one of those things that it doesn't make me just go, oh, I don't trust you at all. But, ooh, it really kind of puts me on edge when I see this new game and I see the female lead and I see this and this. It just, to me, makes me just go, And I don't want to go, And again, I make it sound like I hate Siri. I don't hate Siri. It's just, but what are you going to do with her story? I mean, we've already kind of experienced her story. I mean, because really the end of her story is kind of the end of Geralt's story, because their stories are so heavily interconnected. I just can't think of where it's gonna go. I would have preferred to see two things. I would have preferred to see if you want to do the female Witcher thing, and I get it because Ciri's the first female Witcher, so I guess Ciri was the only option. But I mean, maybe there was a secret Witcher in the School of the Cat, or one of the other Witcher schools that was never fully documented, or something like that. I don't know. I think that would be a cop-out and just a really annoying retcon to the lore, but I want to see them get away from the characters of the books. I want to see them kind of do their own thing and see the world they build outside of, within the Witcher world, but outside necessarily the confines of the books. And I know the Witcher games take place after the books, but it's got the whole cast and their personalities really already kind of developed because of the books. It's a really weird feeling, is what I'm talking about. But man, there is a part of me that would just love to see them go to a totally different time that we've not experienced out in The Witcher, which is why I said, you know what, fine, do a female Witcher that apparently the history books have never heard of, and it's with a different Witcher school or something at a totally different time. Or what I would have loved is we go back and we play as a young Vesemir, like well back, when he started becoming, while he was actually out traveling and becoming a Witcher. I think that could be really cool. Now, when your army first arrived in these lands, Drakenhold was home to naught but rubble, ruin, and pestilence. Fun word to say. Yet that era will become a mere footnote in our history, owing wholly to the resilience of our citizens and the aid of the liberation. Owing wholly to the resilience, okay. Hard to imagine it wasn't long ago that our nations were at each other's throats. And Elaine's never cared about that kind of stuff. He just keeps marching on, same as always. Now that you mention it, this victory should serve as an impetus for our homelands to mend their troubled past. But first, we have a war to win. Indeed we do. 'Tis a fight I'm honored to personally be a part of. And when the final battle is someday upon us, our two armies shall stand as one in service of Fevrith. I promise you that. Yeah, man, I feel like I'd love a game where we play as, like, a young Vesemir and see some of his adventures. Or Heskel and Lambert. I think there's other stories with other characters that could have gotten us away from Ciri and Geralt and their thing. We could just go back to being just monster hunters. I think there's something about, you know, being Vesemir teaching Witchers at the School of the Wolf and, you know, sending them out on their own adventures and everything. Even though I guess it's not really how the Witchers work, because the Witchers kind of work as, you know, they go out on the path on their own and kind of winter in their castles. So, I still think that there's a concept there that could work, so. Well, seeing that we ended up sailing into Bastoria, so I thought we were going to go to, like, a secluded shore or something, but not right into Bastoria. I really like the color palette in this area. It's just a stark difference from what we've seen up to this point. But yeah, I mean, that's my whole thing. It's just when I saw that we're playing as Ciri, I was like, not sure how I feel about that. Partially because of the politics angle. Because, again, I'm always afraid of any time I see this stuff, I always have to go, is this a ploy for the modern audience, or are we actually going to do something with it? I'll give CDPR the benefit of the doubt, but it still makes me kind of raise the hairs on the back of my neck. But but like I said, but I'd also like to see us break away and see some other, characters' stories. That's kind of my opinion on that, but yeah. As far as who won and everything at the Game Awards, I didn't watch anything. The only reason I know about a couple of the trailers that have been showing up on my, like news stories or whatever for games on my PS5. Yeah, I've not seen anything there. Oh my god. Dude, looking at all this snow in the game, it's like, this is what it's like outside right now. Not snowing, but it's cold as shit. Whoa, is that a Bestrel? A Bestrel? That's what I'm going with. I've never actually seen one in the flesh. That's right, guys. We're entering furry land. Grrr. Ah! Lex!
Damn, that hurts.
Are you all right?
Yeah, but our friend here's not so lucky.
You had little choice in the matter. Had you not slain him, it would be your corpse lying there instead.
Doesn't make me feel much better about it. Have these Bestrels always been the stab first, ask questions later kind of people?
You'll pay for this, Sonoran scum!
The hits just keep coming today.
Hold a moment, please! We're not... Zenoirans. A local girl, do you suppose?
Whoever she was, she dropped something.
A pendant, it would seem.
Oh, and if you're wondering, yes, she does have her own class. She's not just an archer. She is a snow archer. They have their own unique abilities and everything. Again, this game has so many freaking classes that are all not a lot of similar ones, but I always feel like there's enough differentiating them that they all still kind of have their own unique feel. I like it. Gonna end up going into this mission and getting absolutely stomped on. Mostly because I feel like we kind of rolled into Bastorius, and we aren't what's the word I'm looking for? We aren't approaching this mission from I think we should have worked our way through should have worked our way through the, oh my god, my brain will not form the sentence. Through the country a little bit before we get to this point. Because the mission that we start on is a really large battlefield. Though I guess our first battle in Drakenhold was also really wide-scaled. We're kind of taking a... Well, if you're wondering what kind of units we're going to see, you know, we get the Bestrels, which, you know, you have the werewolves, which use swords. We get lion Bestrels, so, you know, they're like lion-headed people who use a big axe. There are owls who are like a flying magic unit. You get fox chicks and bikinis. Can't make this up.
Take this!
Are you hurt?
Don't worry. I just gave him a little shield shove this time.
I'm okay. Thank you.
Now, before you start running off again, let me say, we're not with Zenoira.
We are the Liberation Army, hailing from Cornea in the south.
That explains it then. Sorry for jumping to conclusions there. But this grassy scent... I knew you were from Cornea.
You can tell where we're from just by smelling us?
My name's Unifi. I fight for a free Bastorius, with a group called the Frostblooms.
Another regional resistance. I should have expected as much. This pendant belongs to you, yes?
I've been looking everywhere for that. It's really important to me. I can't believe you found it.
Unifi! My fur will be whiter than snow if you keep worrying me like this.
Holy...
Sorry about that, Morard. But what's got you so worked up?
Zenoira, the bastards strike at our capital.
What? Where's Ramona?
Holding the line with the rest of the Blooms. But this is no
I mean,
place
you can
to talk.
clearly tell they're
Make
kind
the
of like...
nearest fort.
He's essentially like the gladiator class. Just with a lion head. We stand with a resistance group called the Liberation Army. Assuming you can fight Zenoira, we'll gladly aid your cause. I appreciate that. We'll take all the help we can get. Follow me. Our base is this way. Tempest of White. So I'm guessing they're kind of supposed to be like sort of vaguely Russian, seeing that the name of their city is Bastoria.
What are we doing just standing here? Ramona needs us.
Calm, Unifi.
But...
Trust in her, and she will see that trust repaid. The capital would never fall so easily.
Apologies, but who is this Ramona you speak of?
Founding matron of the Frostblooms, and chiefess of the Owl bloodline. That, and the woman who has served as Unifi's mother.
I didn't realize.
Sorry, Morard. This is no time to panic. I need to keep a level head, just like she would. Now, do we know who's leading the enemy troop?
A warrior by the name of Conrad, it sounds like.
Perfect. We put a couple arrows in this Conrad, and that'll stop the invasion dead in its tracks.
In theory, yes. But he's not the only one we have to contend with. Our fellow Bestrels have started attacking each other for no good reason.
Yeah, I saw. What's got them so worked up, you think?
Not a clue. But whatever's behind it, we can't afford to sit around pondering. For now, we lead the assault on their commander.
All is going exactly
Dude, this guy,
according
as soon as I saw this guy, I went, whoa, fuck, what the
Lord Elgor.
flip is that?
These savages are no match for my trained military. Bastoria will fall in a matter of hours.
A welcome change of tune from the imbecile who came before you. The capital would still be ours if not for him.
May I ask what brings you out here, sir?
New orders from High Commander Ryman. You're to find and secure the Azure Stone of the Lion Kings.
Care to elaborate on that?
In its fledgling years, Bastoria belonged to the Lion bloodline alone. The High Commander believes the stone most likely resides there to this day.
And what's his reason for seeking it?
That's not for you to know. All you have to worry about is making it ours. Do I make myself clear?
Crystal. I'll never understand how a peasant like him managed to curry such favor with our masters.
Oh, shit. Bastoria's over there. And as long as the other Frost Blooms are holding the front line, should be alright, at least for a while. Yeah, it's not as long as you'd think. But given our brethren have been losing their faculties more and more these days, it's hard to say anything for certain. Whole place is crawling with them too. What's our plan here? It's a shame, but combat seems to be our only course of action. Indeed, we've sadly no mercy to spare on our path to the enemy general. Okay. So, fun fact, you gotta travel on the road because this is kind of like the desert. The snow slows down your... Well, no, the snow doesn't slow down all your units, just your cavalry. You know, I was planning on doing a third video today. I was gonna take a look at the Dynasty Warrior... I forget the subtitle of the new Dynasty Warrior game. I was gonna take a look at it. I recorded about 30 minutes of it. Of the demo. It's pretty straightforward. It's essentially just you play a mission. There's some really nasty voice acting. I mean, the dub's not great, but it's not bad. It's kind of fun. I'll say this. I have never enjoyed Dynasty Warriors, but that was the first time a Dynasty Warriors trailer, Were Owls, have actually made me interested in playing a Dynasty Warriors game. So I'll say that it's a good demo. It's just I think the worst part about it was the voice acting. But if anybody's interested, I'll keep the footage. Well, probably won't keep the footage. I might re-record it. It's like 40 gigs is what the footage after going through OBS was, but it's only 30-minute video. Like this, the full video that you're watching now before I edited just some downtime out is over an hour long, and it was only about 12 to about 48 for the Dynasty Warriors videos. Just looked at what shit. Star Wars Outlaws did the same thing, just the files were weirdly big. So you're seeing what the Snow Ranger does. They have a Mystic Arrow for armored units and Sonic Shaft for, which is their other attack, which does 100% of the user's initiative, which I think is an interesting effect. they play very similar to the gladiators, and the werewolves are kind of their own thing. They're kind of like the Death Knights. I think that's the class they are. I'm gonna say that they're kind of like, they strike me as as just like an infantry version of what the Death Knights are. So, and I'm talking about the mounted axe users who use the poison, like Gloucester. You know, they seem to be all about getting in there, landing finishing blows, and yeah, I'll probably have more opinions once I really get in and play with them, but interesting classes. The Were-Owls, to me, just essentially look like they're flying magic units, and I don't know about the Were-Foxes. I haven't seen them in action, but if I had to guess, they're probably a dodgy speed version of our soldiers. You know, where I think our soldiers maybe have a little bit more defense, the Were-Foxes probably have more dodge. If I had to throw out a guess. Yeah, like I was saying, though, that I heavily suggested, if you haven't checked it out yet, check out the Dynasty Warriors. I think it's Origins. Check out the demo. It's not a bad demo. It's kind of fun.
I'll take wind. I'll handle this.
So like I said, one of the first times I'm ever going to say this, or the first time I think I've ever said this, I'm actually kind of interested in a new Dynasty Warriors game. And I don't want to talk shit about Dynasty Warriors because I know it's it has a big audience of people who adore them. But they've never been my cup of tea.
Easy. Just say the word.
Yeah, so they get this extra assist. So essentially you drop it, and they do 50% extra assist damage. So it's a kind of an interesting Valor action. God damn it. Seeing the snow in this, now I got the other thing I wanted to talk about, oddly enough, it's kind of fortuitous with the snowy area that we're in this mission. I have absolutely fallen in love with not a new anime. I'm not sure when it came out. I need to look that up. But I absolutely fell in love with Golden Kamui. You know me, I love my anime and all that. You know. I know I'm a giant nerd, ha ha ha, but still. If you have a Crunchyroll, you have all that stuff, you want a suggestion from me on a anime to read, or you read manga. It's also a really good manga too. Adapted very faithfully. Read Golden Kamui or watch Golden Kamui. It is really fucking good. It's got a pretty good English dub, in my opinion. If you've never seen it, I'm trying to think how much to go into Golden Kamui to not like ruin the plot, but I like how they do a little flip. But the whole story, it's set just after the Russo-Japanese War. You follow Sugimoto the Immortal, a soldier who was, said to be immortal from all the battle wounds and everything he's taken, but somehow survived. He's panning for gold, and then the guy he's with, drunkenly decides to tell him a story of lost. They're called Ainu gold. What the fuck's an Ainu? They are an indigenous people that live in northern Japan, mostly Hokkaido, and up into Russia. So it's a kind of they're an indigenous people that live up in that span of the world. So they've essentially gathered all this gold to fight the government, and then are betrayed by someone who takes the gold. They're eventually arrested, and in prison they tattoo a whole bunch of prisoners essentially a secret code, or a map or a code or whatever, that's going to lead whoever can get all these tattoos to the gold, and it's a shitload of gold. So he tells him this story, and Sugimoto's like, yeah, right, yeah, whatever. So he's panning for gold, and he's panning for gold because he's going to give his buddy who he went to the war with, who ended up dying, he's going to give it to his widow so she can get a surgery to get her eyes fixed because she's losing her vision, and it's a whole thing like that. So he's and throughout the story you see him like he's not a good guy. I mean, the show does a lot of really cool stuff there's a lot of gray area with a lot of the characters. Like, there are some really shitty people and some not so shitty people, but nobody's wholly innocent. It's one of those kind of stories. But Sugimoto is definitely, he's not above killing people. He's not above, anything like that, but he's... Oh yeah, once the moon goes out, Bestrels end up getting a bump. And they actually move faster on the map, too. So he's trying to kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of him trying to make up for everything that he did during the war, all the lives he took and everything, that kind of story. But so he just passes off the story of this lost gold and treasure and everything. He just kind of passes it off as, okay, the drunken ramblings of a guy. Well, the guy ends up kind of taking a nap. Okay, Sugimoto goes back to what he's doing. And at some point he turns around and the drunk wakes up, points Sugimoto's gun at him. And he's like, I told you about this, now I'm gonna have to kill you. So Sugimoto ends up killing the guy and finds out he's got a tattooed body and going, holy shit, these escaped prisoners, these prisoners with all these tattoos it's real. This treasure hunt is fucking real. So he's just blown away by this. So he's gonna go and hunt down this gold for his buddy's widow. He ends up meeting this young Ainu girl who has a connection. Her tribe or her village was heavily affected because when the person stole the gold, a bunch of people, including her father, was killed in the village. So so she kind of wants to join him to kind of figure out what happened to her father. So it's Sugimoto and this young girl going off on this adventure, trying to hunt down all these criminals. And literally, the way the tattoos are made, you actually have to skin the body to be able to see the whole thing and put it all together. It's kind of dark and fucked up, but there's a lot of comedy and levity in the series. It's really weird. And season 3 gets oddly gay. And if you're like, well, AJ, what the hell do you mean by that? I mean, literally, like, there's a scene where 4 dudes end up outside in a blizzard, run into a sauna, and get naked together. And then... and then one of them was holding up, they're like, well, what the fuck is this? Because there's a lot of, like, Russian influences, so a lot of the Japanese are like, what's with the sauna thing? So, he's like, well, it's a steam bath. And he's like, so you take these white birch branches and you hit yourself with them because it's supposed to loosen up the muscles or something. So he hands them off to the other guys. He's like, now beat me! And they're all naked, and they're all muscly and everything. I'm just sitting there going, this is really weird. Like, this is really gay. It's the only way I can phrase it. God damn. But yeah, so essentially that's the core premise. It's Sugimoto and this girl hunting this treasure in all of these escaped convicts. Then a rogue military unit gets involved, and they're trying to. Their commander, who's an absolute lunatic, one of my favorite characters, is trying to get the gold so he can build a weapons factory and create kind of like his own kind of autonomous state for soldiers outside the purview of the government. You have an old member of the Shinsengumi who is a member of the prisoners, and he's trying to build it to bring up another revolution against the Meiji government who overthrew the shogunate. And then there's partisan freedom fighters in Russia who are getting involved. So there's just all these different factions who are getting involved in this fight, in this hunt for this gold. You know, literally at the end of Season 3, you have Sugimoto essentially saying that he's doing this. Yes, he wants to help his friend's widow, but he's doing this to make sure Shirpa is her name, that she never has to stain her hands and can be free of this battle, this war that she didn't choose to be a part of. You know, he's like, I'm tainted, I'm assault, you know, I've killed and all this. She's not, you know, she's not gonna do it. And it's this really kind of this really cool relationship they have. So many of the characters on almost every side of the conflict are multifaceted. They're really fun characters to kind of see and hang out and explore. You know, like every faction, you're kind of like, what? You're not wholly incorrect or evil. You know, there's varying degrees, but you kind of see the point of everyone. There are so many like partial alliances being made and backstabbing. Oh, the fights are fucking amazing because they're not like over the top kung fu fights. A lot of times they're, you know, you're fighting each other with bayonets, and it's very much you get stabbed and you're fucking dead.
What do I do next?
It's a really good anime. Check it out, called Golden Kamui.
That is, if they accept.
She's essentially explaining the Ring of the Maiden is the wedding ring, and you have to end up dating one of your whatchamacallits.
The covenant between Unicorn and Maiden requires both sides to be of one mind and one heart. If either betrayed the pact they swear at this altar, they would face terrible consequences. At least, according to the texts.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
Considering the risk, I'd suggest you give the ring to the person you trust most.
Just took a nice little break there. Ate a delicious pulled pork sandwich. God damn, man. We got just this absolutely amazing barbecue joint here in town. Just absolutely fantastic. My old man was nice enough, grabbed us sandwiches on his way home from work. Oh, so good. So here I wasn't sure if I wanted to boost unit sizes or what, but I decided to go with promoting. I believe the first one I go with is... Oh, wait. No, I guess it's Dark Knight and Doom Knight. This is the unit that I was talking about earlier with what I think the werewolf is essentially like. It's just they're not using poison or anything like that, but just the way their classes kind of work.
How's that for good?
The fruits of diligence are sweet indeed.
You know, Bernard has more than earned this promotion.
How's that for good?
Hope you're paying me more for this.
So I thought, you know what, let's do Let's do another battle. And we're gonna enter Bastoria through this gate. And take another step towards this gate. Bastoria belongs to us. Blah blah blah. See, I kind of like how there's multiple ways that you can approach these nations. You know, it's like with Bastoria, I can go in through water, I can go in through land. Probably can't do it through air, but... Yeah, overall, man, I'll keep saying it. I really think this game is very well made. Excuse me. I mean, technically, if I would have power leveled, I could have already gone in and entered Bastoria.
Joining the battle.
You know, you can sequence break in this game.
Enemy unit wherever you'd like me. As you command.
Really, I just sent that. I sent them out there because I wanted to make sure I could just take out the archer, be done with them.
On to the next. Your orders, please. Sir. I'm ready to fight.
You'll see no harm.
One.
Your shield.
I think I gotta turn that move to focus on the least the enemy with the lowest guard.
Will not fail. Let me see what you got.
That's a really cool animation with her dodging the multiple pile thrusts. I say that as she gets taken down.
I'm not finished yet. I have this
And
one.
we'll knock out this unit, which will give us enough valor
That's enough out of them.
so we can bring
Wherever you'd like
out
me. I'm heading there
another
now.
unit. I'm also trying to bring out lower level units so I can get them some levels.
Well, going.
I've reached my destination.
For the rotten luck. Over here.
Oddly enough, the one who's going to cause me the problems,
Be cleansed.
the flippin' Vanguard Knight.
I want to watch you. I'll have them yet. You missed. Gotcha.
Gamble, how the hell did you get hit by that? Come on. Gamel, man, I'm very disappointed with your dodging.
Reloading. What should I do? As you command. I await your
Some
next
kind of
orders.
joke.
Wherever you'd like me. I'm leaving for now.
Just trying to put some units in here that can deal with the frickin' Vanguard. I stand by. I really want to like those units, the Vanguard units, kind of like the Feather Swords or whatever Oclese is. I want to like their units. They just
No surprise there. Go on.
their uses are
I'm dying.
what's the word I'm looking for? There's such a narrow use case for them.
Not scared of you.
And then just
I'll heal
outside of those situations, when it just kind of runs into their general use,
Take one for you.
they just kind of fall into a situation where you're like, I mean, you... I'm trying to think how to phrase this. You fall into a situation where outside of their,
Let me.
you know, their like wheelhouse use, you kind of look at them and go, you're mediocre at everything. Like, you're not bad units, but you aren't as sturdy as a legionnaire. You're not as strong as a sword fighter. You're not as, you know, you're really just kind of mediocre at a whole bunch of stuff. So you just kind of end up getting that unit just kind of, it just kind of takes up space again, unless you're going to use for the Vanguard their arrow cover. You can do some stuff with the Feather Sword. I'm still trying to figure that unit out, but still they have their uses.
Let's see just how strong I can get. May the Father smile upon me. My skill with the bow goes ever higher.
Alright, my dudes, as we finish off this mission, this is where I am going to leave you for this one. I want to say, as always, thank you so much for watching. Social media found down in the description below. Please remember to like, comment if you're not already. Please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more next time. Until then, I'm out.